Students, now we will continue from the second paragraph. In the first paragraph, you understood that the proposal or the proposition made by the big chief was just a kind and generous proposal, and comparison was also made between the white men and the red Indians, which was one of the important topics. But now in the second paragraph also we will look that he has again made a contrast, looking back, recalling back at their golden times. In contrast to their upcoming doom, he has again compared his people. Read these lines. There was a time when our people covered the land as the waves of a wind-ruffled sea cover its shell-paved floor, but that time long since passed away with the greatness of tribes that are now but a mournful memory. Now here in this context, I would like to request you students that remember the keywords. Like earlier you got the vast prairies, scattered trees of a storm-swept plain, then here wind ruffled sea. These, while writing the answers, you should remember these key words. Now let me explain you. In the earlier para, Seattle has said his men are as few in number, but at one point of time his men were as many as the waves of a wind-ruffled sea. Now what is the meaning of ruffled? Underline. Ruffled means disturbed. When the wind disarrange or mess up the surface of the sea, then the sea surface gets covered with the hard shells of sea creatures. So looking back at the golden past of his tribe, he remember that the red Indians were large in number once upon a time. They filled the tribe, his race of red Indians filled the country once upon a time, but now it has diminished. So this race has now decreased in number. So this para conveys the extreme maturity of Chief Seattle. He understood the circumstances that led to the present condition. He realized that blaming others is not only the solution. Here you can see, I will not dwell on nor mourn over our untimely decay, nor reproach my pale-faced brothers. Underline pale face. Pale face refers to the white men. So he realized that he is not ready to blame or scold the white people or anybody else for their present condition. He realized that red Indian tribes themselves are responsible or to be blamed for bringing the present situation or condition. How he said this, that we should be blamed ourselves? See this line. Youth is impulsive. Youth is impulsive means, here youth refers to the young men. Young men are aggressive. They are rash people. They don't understand much. They paint their faces, and to take revenge they paint their faces. So painting their faces denotes or refers that, according to Chief Seattle's, this reflects that their hearts are also black. That means Chief Seattle is not at all appreciating this foolish act of taking revenge by the young men, young people of his tribe. Seattle doesn't appreciate violence. So again I will repeat, the young men are so impulsive that they are not understanding the views of their elders. They are not ready to accept the suggestions of their elders. But what happens when these young men go and die in these stupid fights, these senseless fights, which they think the act of bravery? Here you can see one line you will find here. Revenge by young men is considered gain. Revenge, taking revenge against the white men is considered a bravery act by these young people. Before this, just mark these two lines. Thus, it was the white men began to push our forefathers ever westward. Now, what happened when the white men began to push the natives westward? The young man turned violent and indulged in revengeful acts when the white men pushed the ancestors or restricted the ancestors to westward. So there is no use in taking revenge on the white men. Why? Because they are many in number, they are large in number, and as well as they are physically more powerful than the red Indians. So in times of war or in times of taking revenge, they, even at the cost of their lives, what they are doing, they are only making their family suffer. So again, from this paragraph we understood that it is reflecting his extreme maturity. So now the Chief Seattle is praying that neither the white man nor the red Indian should get into the acts of warfare. Here you can see this line, but let us hope that the hostilities between us may never return. Means they should not engage themselves in any kind of fights, in any kinds of war. Students, read up to here thoroughly and try to understand the concept. Once again, in this third para, this is from young youth is impulsive too, who have sons to lose know better. Once again, I will make a quick revision that Chief Seattle described his men cruel and relentless or reckless, impulsive when they become angry. They paint their faces, they disfigured their faces of the wrongdoers with black paints. They become uncontrollable by the feeble old men, weak old men or women. And it happened that when the white men pushed their forefathers westward, that made them angry and they get engaged in violence. But now he expected that the hostilities between them, any kind of enmity between the white men and red Indians, should never be returned, as he did not want to lose anything. You can see here, we would have everything to lose and nothing to gain. So he is well familiar. His maturity made him to think in this way, that fighting is not a smart decision, or it cannot bring anybody any gain. It is not a fruitful act. It only make everything to lose. Students, now read up to here, and again I shall continue in my next video.